Introduction to the remote teaching. Introduction to the module. This module will serve as your introduction to remote teaching and its sections. Many commonly used terms and different teaching techniques are described in this module, as well as the key difference between remote teaching and online learning. It will also include ways to deliver curriculum and support students remotely. Topics to be covered. What is remote teaching? Synchronous and asynchronous teaching. Remote teaching versus online learning. Remote classroom. Delivering curriculum remotely. Supporting students with additional learning needs. What is remote teaching? Remote teaching is the method of teaching which occurs outside of a physical classroom. Instructors are separated from the learners in time and distance. Remote teaching is typically facilitated through technology, such as video conferencing software, discussion boards, or learning management systems. This type of teaching may be synchronous, where students watch instructors deliver the lectures live, or asynchronous, where students watch lecture recordings at a later point in time. Remote teaching, which is synonymous with e-learning, takes place online. Both students and instructors interact via two-way communication technologies. Best practices for remote teaching include providing ongoing feedback, making assignment guidelines clear, and making effective use of online resources. Synchronous and asynchronous teaching. Synchronous learning occurs live and in real time, supported by video conferencing solutions like Zoom, GoToMeeting, and YouTube Live. When used in concert with an online teaching platform or learning management system, synchronous learning allows educators to replicate many of the experiences common to an in-person classroom. This includes the ability for attendees to access lecture slides, respond to interactive questions, and engage with discussion threads. Asynchronous learning takes advantage of many of the same technologies. The main difference is that learning is self-paced and not reliant on adhering to a schedule. Educators can deliver content and assignments remotely using solutions like Zoom to record and post lectures online. With the right technology, learners can interact with digital courseware, assignments, homework questions, and discussion threads to support engagement with faculty and other students. The benefit, of course, is being able to do this without the need for participants to be online at the same time. When to use synchronous learning. Synchronous learning most closely mirrors the typical in-class experience. Delivering information and presentations virtually in real time creates a sense of speed and intimacy that is particularly effective for student engagement. Depending on your supporting technology, you can also respond directly to questions and discussions, provide feedback, and use interactive click-on-target questions to gauge comprehension and ensure students are moving in the right direction. When you consider the impact of live discussion and the ability to work through problems together in real time, synchronous learning provides opportunities to apply concepts and collaborate, helping to deepen learning. It's especially useful when teaching material that requires immediate feedback or clarification to keep students on track. When to use asynchronous learning. Asynchronous learning is particularly useful if it's difficult for your students to keep to a specific schedule. Accessing materials, readings, assignments, quizzes, and lecture recordings in a single place allows students to explore topics in depth and at their own pace. Supported by discussion forums and one-to-one communications through email, are simple ways to create engagement, even if much of the learning is self-directed. Asynchronous learning also provides the opportunity for you to promote peer collaboration, creating specific assignments that require students to work with each other or review each other's work outside the confines of a class schedule. Just make sure to set tangible deadlines and check-in points that will keep everyone on track. Mix of both. The reality is, effective remote teaching requires a combination of both synchronous and asynchronous learning. For example, if hosting a live lecture seems daunting, it may make sense to put more emphasis on assignments, readings, and participation in discussion threads. This way, any required live remote communications can be used to clarify issues, revisit difficult material, and address any challenges students may have. Ultimately, the key is to play to the strengths of each approach and your comfort zone. Using asynchronous methods is a great way to help students collaborate with peers by explicitly assigning cooperative work that needs to be done before a set time. It's also great for ensuring they are prepared to make good use of time for any synchronous or real-time lessons. Every course and educator is different, so the most important thing is to think about your objectives, your students, and let this guide your approach. Remote teaching versus online learning. We have already discussed what remote teaching is. Now, let's focus on online learning and the differences between them. Online learning is a method of instruction that takes place over the internet. Sometimes called e-learning, it's a form of education that happens at a distance rather than within a classroom setting. Online learning was created to leverage technology and provide students with the opportunity to earn degrees and/or attend school without having to be in an academic setting. There are many ways in which online learning can benefit one seeking to attend, including career advancement, a flexible schedule and environment, lower costs compared to traditional schools, potentially more choices when it comes to course selection, increased level of responsibility and time management, personal satisfaction. While it may seem like semantics at first, it's crucial to recognize the difference between remote teaching and online learning. Here are some of the main differences. Online learning. Designed purposely to be remote and distant. Regarded as a main mode of education, not an exception. Accessible and voluntary. Meant to be a long-term solution. Not urgent. All resources are accessible. Has full faculty support. Students are voluntarily enlisting. Remote teaching. Activated in response to a crisis or something beyond human control. Meant to be temporary. May lack resources. May not have full faculty support. Students may not have a choice. Learning Management System, LMS. A learning management system, LMS, is a digital platform that enables the management, delivery and measurement of a student's curriculum. Using the LMS, instructors can create digital content in the form of lesson plans, organize it into courses, deliver the material to students, enroll them in a course, then monitor and assess student performance. Elements of an LMS include attendance rosters, discussion forums, course calendars, student engagement, grading and multiple device access. Examples of an LMS include Moodle and D2L. A learning management system, LMS, allows teachers to create, distribute and track student progress electronically. An LMS can be self-hosted, delivered via the cloud, or on a private cloud. The benefits of LMS include efficient management and control, easy access to information, the ability to personalize, and to deliver multimedia learning. The primary drawback of any LMS is that users need to be somewhat tech-savvy to use a platform that may lack user-friendliness. Remote classrooms. Remote classrooms refer to learning environments where students and their instructors are not in the same space. To replace traditional educational tools and activities, an online classroom is required for an accessible learning environment. However, there are many tools available to mimic the traditional classroom. Remote classrooms are often relied on by educational institutions when face-to-face instruction cannot take place. There are two traditional modes of remote classroom instruction: synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. Delivering the curriculum remotely. Research and practice concludes that students are likely to learn best from home when teachers give students, parents and families information about how and when they can contact teachers, make regular contact with students and families, create and communicate a schedule or calendar that shows what's expected of students, for example, what students will be asked to do, by when. Give regular feedback to students and families on student learning progress. Avoid overwhelming students by giving them too many learning activities at once, for example, a whole month's work. Plan learning activities to address agreed-on goals of individual education plans, IEPs, for students in your class, where appropriate. Ensure that parents are provided with materials that align with the appropriate level of the curriculum. Plan for a blend of synchronous, in real time, and asynchronous, not in real time, online learning opportunities, if students have access to technologies. Balance individual activities or tasks with collaborative ones that support students to engage with each other online, if appropriate and technologies can facilitate it. Include a variety of activities or tasks, for example, creative, reflective, analytical, shorter, and longer. Supporting students with additional learning needs. Some students may experience greater challenges in learning remotely and need extra support in a home learning environment. Resources available to help schools plan remote and flexible learning experiences can also be used for students with more complex learning needs. As their teacher, you will be best placed to determine learning activities that will align with learning needs and the goals identified through their IEP. When planning for all learners, including those with complex needs, you may need to consider level of instruction required for parents to be able to support completion of tasks, remembering that just as in the classroom, some learners need more adult support. Order of learning activities, indicating time expected to take to complete the task. Ways to keep motivated or track progress.